Hey bro, since you're watching this video, I know you've fallen into the trap of fitness influencers. What are you talking about? I literally train however I want. The problem is, you're training like a bodybuilder. And this is what 99% of people get wrong in their strength training journey. Take notes, bro, because I'm about to drop a value bomb. You always hear this argument between push-pull legs, upper-lower, full body. For some reason, the internet popularizes and pushes these splits so much to everyone. Because social media is so full of these bodybuilding splits, everyone hops on them because they think it's the best way to train for strength. They push to failure on all their sets, they do isolations and all this fancy stuff to get like a better mind-muscle connection. What's the actual problem of training like a bodybuilder? And what other choice do we have? The other choice is training like a powerlifter in order to maximize strength. The biggest difference between training like a powerlifter and a bodybuilder is that in powerlifting, you have a routine that's based on your movements that you're training that day instead of the body parts or muscles you're training on that day. That could be, for example, squat, bench, deadlift, front lever planche, in our case for calisthenics, dips and pull-ups. All of these you can target in ways powerlifters use for squat, bench, deadlift. The powerlifting method's biggest advantage is periodization. Basically, it's changing the stimulus because your body is super annoying and wasn't built to like hit PRs and do all these things. It was basically built just to survive and thrive in doing human things, not weighted dips, right? So we need to be changing the stimulus every week in order to get our best gains. This doesn't let our body adapt too well, but also gives it some room in order to learn and grow. I personally have had the biggest growth on programs like these, which are periodized and complex, and I've heard this same from others too. I mean, it's logical, right? Why would you train like a bodybuilder? Why not like a powerlifter if you want to get strength? And I'm going to teach you how you can do that. Go to the link in the description, just put in your email, and I'm gonna send you the full program for free for dips, pull-ups, and squats. If you get the program, it's gonna be much easier for you to understand the terms that I'm gonna be saying. The powerlifting method. It is literally completely based off of this one thing. 1 rep maxes are the most efficient for training strength, but that is way too fatiguing and not enough volume. So, what we do instead is train at 3 to 6 reps, which you've probably heard of, which provides a good balance of strength adaptation, but also volume. I hope you're taking notes, because if not, you're gonna forget everything and keep making your average gains. Here are the terms you need to know in order to understand the powerlifting method. First off, RPE, rate of perceived exertion. This is similar to RIR, reps in reserve.
Wait for it, rack.
What's my RIR on that, Mike?
12.
But it instead tells us the intensity. 10 RPE, RPE 10, meaning you could not have done another rep, super intense. RPE 8, meaning you had 1 to 2 reps in the tank, and RPE 5, meaning you had 5 or even 6 reps in the tank. We vary the RPE based on what we are working on. Next up, we have top sets. Top sets are your primary sets of the movement, and they contribute the most to your strength gains. These are usually at least RPE 8, but most of the time RPE 9 to 10. They are set up as sets times reps. Most of the time use a fashion like 3x3, 3x4, 3x5, 5x5, things like that. You hear them very often. Back off sets. These are used after the top sets to let us get some extra volume and practice the movement. How we use this? Let's say you just did 3x3 RPE 9 on the weighted dip. That's super difficult, but not enough volume. So what we add? 2x10 RPE 7, so easier but more volume. And that gives us an opportunity to obviously practice the movement, but also get some hypertrophy in. Next up, support exercises. These are exercises that complement the main movement, but are not actually the main movement. So that could be like practicing the top part of the pull-up with doing like 1 normal pull-up and 1 top part only, or that could be doing lateral raises for stability on weighted dips. This can be done in many ways, but just simply complements the main movement. We use this to not overdevelop or imbalance certain muscles. That's a ton of info, so here's a summary. RPE, rate of perceived exertion, how hard you push the set. Next, top sets. These are your primary sets for the movement and are the most important for strength. Next are back-offs, easy sets, which are 5 reps or more, usually RPE 8 or less, and give us an opportunity to work on the technique, the volume, and a bit of hypertrophy too. Next are support exercises. These are not the main movement, but they help with weaknesses of it. So they target certain parts and basically help figure those out if you have a problem. The actual last one is CNS, Central Nervous System. This is important to us because we obviously want to be hitting our 1 rep maxes and getting all that strength, but we also don't want to be burning out. So we manage our CNS fatigue by using RPE, and we vary it based on the weeks. So let's say on week 1, I'll be explaining this later, but on week 1, you'll be doing low RPE to effectively dodge the CNS fatigue. And then on week 3, when you want to optimize your central nervous system and let it adapt to lower reps, turn the RPE way up, stressing your central nervous system, but also forcing it to adapt, making it ready for your 1 rep maxes. That's the workout itself, but now we have the workout split. This is where we're going to implement an advanced strategy called periodization. Though this is difficult, stick with me because this is the final piece to the puzzle for making the best strength gains. In our periodization, we're going to have weeks 1 through 5. Week 1 is focused on hypertrophy. Week 2 is focused on strength. Week 3 is focused on your central nervous system and making it adapt. Week 4 is a deload, where you basically take a super easy week focused on technique and stuff. And week 5 is where you do your 1 rep maxes and a little bit of training. Now, programming this type of stuff is complicated, to say the least. But don't worry, bro, I've got you covered completely. Go to the link in the description, just put in your email, and I'm gonna send you the full program for free for dips, pull-ups, and squats. As you can see, we're going to be training squats, dips, and pull-ups. We're going to be training pull-ups and dips 3 times a week, and squats twice a week, as they're more fatiguing. And obviously we're going to be adding in some extra work to not just be strong, but we're also going to be big, obviously. Now, you might be a bit scared, daunted. This is kind of hard to understand. I'm not gonna lie. But the good thing about this is that you can go to the gym and literally turn off your brain and just train. You don't have to think about which exercise is good and all that. I've literally put everything into a plan for you, and you can abuse this and just go and make your best gains. As you can see, the program uses some of these things that I talked about, right? You obviously have 3 rest days, 4 training days, and you have your RPE there, your sets by reps. This program basically works like this. You start off with low intensity, high volume for hypertrophy. Then you bring them both to the middle for strength. Then you crank up the intensity, but you have to bring down the volume to work on your CNS. Then you bring both of them down to deload, obviously, have an easy week. Then you basically crank up the intensity once again to get your 1 rep maxes. So go down to the description and get that science-based periodized program. That'll make you get the best gains you can possibly get. See you, bro. Keep overloading.